little bit of a dip right now on the Bitcoin daily chart. We can cruise over here to the 6-hour chart, get a sense of what it's looking like. Nothing out of the ordinary, but these dates that I have on the screen, incredibly important in evaluating what might happen if Bitcoin fails at support. That's what I want to talk about in this video. So hit that subscribe, hit the like. Let's jump in. I want to just start real quick on the 6-hour and just point something out because it's something we've been tracking. We have the rising channel we've been tracking that goes all the way back here to November. Bitcoin most recently broke out of the top of it, right? So anything in this general vicinity down into the upper trend line, we can evaluate as support, right? So $27,500, right around where that upper trend line is. And on the shorter term, you go to something like the 6-hour, and we can just see we have support on the moving averages. The 50-day, right around 26,300, to the 20-day, which is right below Bitcoin, 28,800. And this is an area we talked about in yesterday's video. It's a very common area for Bitcoin just to pull into or fall into this range, even in a higher high, higher low environment. If you're anything like me, and I think a lot of you are, we do want to see the continuation of Bitcoin, right? These higher high, higher low retracements are fine as long as we just see continuation. We have Bitcoin potentially putting in this reflection of Bitcoin exiting in the 2018 and $2019 move, and we have a target to the upside around $40,000 plus for Bitcoin. So if you're anything like me, again, you like the thought of that. But I think it's wise to kind of zoom out and be like, if things don't progress as consistently and nicely as we see every single cycle, what might Bitcoin do, right? There's no way to predict Bitcoin's next move, but there are data points that could suggest both scenarios. I think yesterday we talked about the scenario for Bitcoin to make the move to the upside. A lot of things playing out that could cause that to be so. But I came across this tweet as I was getting ready to record this video about the dip, the little dip that's happening right now. And I thought it was telling and something that is definitely worth tracking. Let me know your comments below what you think about this. So this is Cryptnuevo on Twitter. They said, my attention will be in the DXY, the US dollar currency index. Is it a W pattern or retrace before continuation to lower levels? So they're basically saying, and this is the US dollar currency index on the daily. I don't care what crypto you own, but this chart is very important for crypto in general, for Bitcoin charts, for the Bitcoin support that we're tracking right now and targets to the downside. He's saying, is this kind of a shorter term retrace before it falls lower? Or is this kind of a double bottom in play? Meaning first low, second low, now it's kind of bullish for US dollar currency index. Because if that happens, you can see when this makes a move to the upside. Here's the last move starting from February 1st. This is what Bitcoin looks like. So February 1st for Bitcoin right here had a little bit of an uptick, but eventually fell, right? And then we have a bottoming out on March 10th. What was the US dollar currency index doing then? March 10th, it was topping out and it started falling. And what has happened since then is Bitcoin started rising. So that's precisely what he's saying right here. And there's no way to know which direction this is going to go. US dollar currency index could very well keep falling, especially as we're right now hitting the 20-day moving average resistance. There's a 50-day moving average if it's going to keep going a little bit. Remember, just the same that we're evaluating Bitcoin to potentially see, let's say, some support at the 50-day moving averages, we could look at the US dollar currency index and say, well, let's see if we're going to see resistance for continuation. So lower highs for the US dollar currency index to continue falling. That's what we're going to be evaluating. If it's a case where it continues to the upside and risk-on assets like Bitcoin start falling, I wanted to just put a picture of what that could look like on the screen. And for me, when I'm watching these charts, there's two things that I'm watching. Number one, kind of starts on the daily. So this would mean, in my opinion, that the 20-day, the 50 are likely failing, right? And it doesn't have to happen in 1 day or 2 days. It can happen over some time that Bitcoin just starts failing and falling through the moving averages. It's this March 10th swing low that I think is important and pivotal on the charts and the structure of Bitcoin. And what I do very simply is I take that swing low to the move we're in to the swing high, and we just have a support area. It's a fall area for Bitcoin if the moving averages will fail, and it's the 618 right around 23,900. We can call it 24,000. And it's a 786 right around 21,900 we can call it 22. So $22,000 to $24,000, a very important area, I think, for Bitcoin if US dollar currency index makes that bullish move to the upside. If US dollar currency index actually sees resistance and continues falling, we've been discussing the case for Bitcoin on the weekly to continue. And that could very much be in play in a scenario like that. But again, if Bitcoin does need to fall, we have the $22,000 to $24,000 region in play for Bitcoin. We go to the weekly and we start zooming in and we say, well, what's there on the weekly? Well, we have the 200-day moving or 200-week moving average around 25,700. And check it out. Down here, we have the 20-week moving average right now just above 23,000 and the 50-week moving average just above 22,000. That $22,000, $24,000 range right there on the Bitcoin weekly charts, right at those moving averages. This is an area where Bitcoin could very well just fall to retest, and it would be a very commonplace move to test macro moving averages in a bullish uptrend. You can just zoom out and you can even just see back here. Here was a very big fall to the 20-week moving average. Here's consolidation at those moving averages. Here's consolidation to the 50-week moving average. This happens a lot. Bitcoin getting kind of separation from the moving averages and just being pulled into them. That could be the setup, and it could actually start, and we could start getting some signals on the US dollar currency index, a non-crypto chart, but a crypto indicator. And I think it would be important to watch how things play out this week from a macroeconomic standpoint. Watch the DXY chart, see how that's playing at these moving average resistance areas, and then pivot to the Bitcoin chart and get a sense of what's in play for targets to the downside if short-term support fails. I thought this might be a good way, not a crazy bullish hopium video at all, but I think it could be a good way to start this week and evaluate. We know upside, we know downside, we know that nobody knows what's going to happen, and we can at least be prepared for every single scenario. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, everybody. I appreciate you cruising by. Hit the subscribe, hit the like. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.